Happy New Year, basketball fans! With the NBA's 2023-24 season tipping off, we thought we'd do things a little differently for this week's episode of Unfiltered. So let's go through my predictions for the coming season, which will remain up for you to admire or mock over the next 8 months. Let's save the biggest trophies and awards for last and start with Rookie of the Year. Not much suspense here. I'm going with Victor Wembanyama. Chet Holmgren has a rare chance to be a really big part of a winning team in Oklahoma City. But in addition to Wemby being the more hyped unicorn, the French giant should also dominate way more of the ball in San Antonio. Don't sleep on Blazers rookie Scoot Henderson butting his way into the conversation though. For Sixth Man of the Year, I'm going slightly off the board and picking a guy who had never come off the bench through the first 1,215 games of his career, Chris Paul.
This proposal doesn't make a whole lot of sense.
We've already gone over why I think Paul and the Warriors could be an unlikely match made in heaven, with the point guard giving Golden State's offense a curveball and allowing them to attack in different ways. Though Paul will play plenty with Steph Curry and the rest of the team stars, and could even finish many games, he'll be most useful to the Dubs beginning games on the bench and propping up Curry-less lineups. If I was convinced that one of Drew Holiday or Derek White would be the surefire sixth man in Boston, I'd probably go with one of the Celtics' two-way guards here. But both could start in smaller Celts lineups, and I'm still not sure which one comes off the bench if Boston starts big. Emmanuel Quickley has to get some love here too, with Naz Reid being an underrated sleeper for sixth man in Minnesota. This year's winner of the Most Improved Player award will be Scottie Barnes. I gave serious consideration to Tyrese Maxey, Austin Reeves, Franz Wagner, and even Jalen Williams, OKC's number 8, not number 6. But I'm going with Barnes, the 2022 Rookie of the Year. The youngster's development stagnated as part of a frustrating Raptors season last year, with Barnes' focus, conditioning, and consistency coming into question. Those concerns began to surface during a brutal 2022 preseason, which bodes well for his 2023-24 campaign after the preseason he put together this year. After Barnes said he did more running and conditioning work than ever before in order to prepare for having more of the ball in new head coach Darko Rajakovic's system, the 22-year-old was lights out during the exhibition season, averaging roughly 19 points, 6 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 blocks, and a steal in only 22 minutes. Though an extremely small sample size in meaningless games, it's also worth noting that the usually wonky jump shooter canned 7 of his 14 three-point attempts. Add it all up, and only Nikola Jokic and Giannis Antetokounmpo, widely accepted as the 2 best players in the world, bested Barnes' overall preseason production.
I'm intrigued.
After Jaren Jackson Jr. beat Brook Lopez for Defensive Player of the Year last season, both big men should remain in the running this year, with Evan Mobley, Drew Holiday, Joel Embiid, and OG Anunoby also in the mix. But in the end, I think this race is going to come down to Anthony Davis and Giannis. With AD playing some of the best ball of his career down the stretch last season, the new-look Lakers posted the Western Conference's best post-deadline record and the league's best post-deadline defense. They did all that despite LeBron James missing 15 of the team's final 26 games. With much of the same roster returning, Davis should be at the heart of a good Lakers defense from the jump this season, and would normally be my pick here. But there's a catch. Defensive Player of the Year is one of the awards that now requires players to take part in at least 65 games in order to qualify. The Brow hasn't played the equivalent of 65 games in 4 years, when he played 62 out of 71 games during the pandemic-interrupted 2019-20 season. And he hasn't actually played 65 out of 82 since the 2017-18 season back in New Orleans. So give me the Greek Freak, who will win the award after he keeps Milwaukee's defense elite despite the team boasting players like Damian Lillard, Malik Beasley, and an aging Chris Middleton on the perimeter. For the 3rd time in 4 seasons, Jokic will be named MVP. The Joker is just too good and too damn consistent for me to go with anyone else. The reigning Finals MVP also somehow seems to be getting better. With Denver still a top 2 team in the West, Jokic averaging another near triple-double on outrageous efficiency, and his on-off splits sure to be unfathomable again, give me the Joker against the field. If you want a bit of a bolder take, how's this? Jason Tatum gets more votes than Giannis, Embiid, and Luka Doncic to finish as the MVP runner-up. Moving to the sidelines, my off-the-board Coach of the Year pick is JB Bickerstaff.
Come again?
Look, it's not that I think Bickerstaff will be the NBA's best bench boss, or even that I think he'll do the best job this season. But think about how this award is usually won. It often goes to coaches of teams who overachieve, which will make it difficult for any of Mike Malone, Adrian Griffin, Joe Mazzulla, or Frank Vogel to win it. Unless one of the Nuggets, Bucks, Celtics, or Suns absolutely runs away from the pack. Mark Daniel is a popular pick with the Thunder expected to vault up the West standings. But given how loaded the conference is, it'll be tough for OKC to actually deliver in banking many more wins than the 40 they tallied last season. With Cleveland boasting continuity and more shooting, Donovan Mitchell having a year under his belt with the team, and Mobley continuing to develop, look for the Cavs to pile up a ton of regular season wins. They're a real threat to finish ahead of at least one of Boston or Milwaukee. And if they do, this award might be Bickerstaff's to lose. On that note, with all those regular season wins in mind, let's say Spida edges out Shai Gilgeous-Alexander for Clutch Player of the Year. Executive of the Year is actually a peer-voted award selected by NBA general managers. In a tight contest between Bucks GM John Horst and Celtics president Brad Stevens, I'll give the edge to Horst, who rival executives will reward for keeping Damian Lillard away from Miami.
I'm a little irritated.
And finally, let's get to the team awards. Boston wins the inaugural NBA Cup, but loses to Milwaukee when it really counts in the East Finals. Out West, the Nuggets repeat as conference champions after taking down the Warriors. Picking Golden State to make another conference finals might surprise you, with the Suns, Lakers, and Grizzlies perhaps sexier picks as West finalists. It's just that Phoenix's defense and depth worry me. The Lakers keeping LeBron and AD healthy long enough to make 2 straight West Finals runs seems unlikely, and the Grizzlies losing Steven Adams for the year when they're already without Ja Morant for at least 25 games is just too much uncertainty for me. So with CP3 blending in and Andrew Wiggins back on a full-time basis, I'll give the Warriors the honor of losing to Denver in May. After that, I've got the Bucks dethroning the Nuggets in June, with Dame serving as the perfect sidekick for Giannis and the shot-creating star Milwaukee has been so desperately missing in the playoffs. Thanks for watching. If you liked this video and want to see more content like this, be sure to hit that subscribe button.